Heyo, heyo, eggs and mayo. This is Tess from ShadowCast Studio with a speed draw and a story time for this spooky season. Now, for this drawing, I decided to pay homage to the 1930s creature features with Legend Catcher, my comic. I love doing these parody pieces each Halloween for Legend Catcher because it's a paranormal series. It's an urban fantasy about Fitzwilliam O'Reilly and the Hailstorm Agency biologically studying monsters rather than killing them or anything. So it's always a fun time doing that. Now, the reason I decided to do this is I also wanted to pay homage and thank you to one English teacher who was, dare I say, a very wild English teacher for high school. Now, to give into context, there were a few things about her that were just so interesting. For one, she had a name that was very close to a children's book character, and because of this, she hated when we called her this character, so she took the time to tell us how to pronounce her name. I'm not going to say what her name is, just to keep anonymity and protect identities and stuff, but needless to say, she did take the time for us to enunciate her name correctly. This was in the mid to late 2000s, and she hated the song Hey There Delilah. Even if it was a top hit at the time, she still hated that song with a passion, so nobody dared bring that up to her in class or out of. So whenever that song got stuck in my head, I kept my mouth shut about it. She also told us about a student, because she used to teach in Utah. And there was a student who took her chair and threw it out the window. Do I remember any of the specifics, or do I even remember her telling us any specifics about this story? No. Was it fascinating to hear about this treacherous, event that happened in her life? Yes. Yes, it was. The last and just the weirdest thing that she pointed out, because I went to high school mid and late 2000s, and the dirty word that we liked to use at the time was egg, and we said it so often, she got so tired of us saying this that one day she was like, I just want to take a physical, literal egg and tack it on the wall for everyone to see, because I'm so exasperated by you kids saying this without actually knowing what it means. She's basically the epitome of the meme from The Princess Bride of, you keep saying that word, but I don't think you know what it means. She was basically a very aggressive Inigo Montoya's. And no, she never found the six-fingered man. Anyway, but one thing that she did, and I loved this made her class my favorite, is she made us read the original Frankenstein novel, and then we got to watch the different movie adaptations and talk about the changes between these mediums. And it was so much fun to do because we got to read the original story and we got to see what the canon was, and then we got to watch the 1930s Universal monster movie and why that was so prevalent in pop culture. We got to watch the 1990s version with the guy who played Lockhart from the Harry Potter movies as Victor, which was wild to me. And then at the very end, and this was the first time I'd ever seen this movie, but we got to watch Mel Brooks and Gene Wilder's Young Frankenstein. And I was a big Mel Brooks fan to begin with. I loved watching his movies in middle school, but I had never seen Young Frankenstein, and it was just so much fun. It was such a fun movie to watch, especially after seeing all the reference material that they took from all the inspiration and the original Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. It is just a form of love, and that's another, I just love Mel Brooks movies because he makes it with such love. He pokes fun at things that he loves and appreciates, and Gene Wilder is such a great actor to watch, especially in this role. If you get the chance to watch Young Frankenstein, I highly recommend you do so. It is a treat. So, in this painting for Fitzwilliam O'Reilly, I am paying homage to that because this season I've been catching up with a lot of 1930s creature feature monster movies I've never seen before, because before this I'd seen Frankenstein, I'd seen The Bride of Frankenstein, even a couple years ago I got to see Bela Lugosi's Dracula. So this year it's been great because I finally got to watch Boris Karloff's The Mummy, I got to watch The Invisible Man, The Wolfman more recently, and even Abbott and Costello's Meets the Monsters, which was interesting. It was very interesting. For this painting for Legend Catcher, it was great to pay homage to that, and it was very freeing too, because these posters, they don't really focus on detail for backgrounds. They're more focused on color and what makes things pop, and texture. So I got to play with the texture. I got to play with making the characters come forward, and what really pulled this piece image-wise together is adding that extra layer of color and texture on the text. That just made it feel so creature feature 1930s poster to me. It was fantastic. And for the characters, it was so much fun because Fitzwilliam himself, I have Legend Catcher up on legendcatcher.com. He's a will-o'-the-wisp, and he got his metal suit body in 1860, and his sense of style has not really changed over the decades. So he would have been wearing this during the 1930s to 50s. But I got to dress up everyone else in this era of clothing, including Donna in this investigative woman suit, and Mark's in these like overalls. He's just your everyday average guy, and Raven in this lovely, beautiful dress circa 1930s. And so it was really fun to play with the archetypes. It's really fun to play with the taglines too. Those are always so much fun, to play with taglines of this thing is different and we don't understand it, so let's make it spooky. So I had a lot of fun with this. I hope you did too. And I hope you all have a safe and spooky season. Till next time,